Welcome to Mamut Tutorials. In this tutorial, we will review the settings for remittance and generate a remittance file for the bank. First, we activate the setting for remittance. To do this, we click on the Accounting Focus area and then click Supplier Ledger. We then click on Settings from the left menu. We tick the box for Company Uses Remittance (Electronic Payment). Then we click on the Settings button, which is now available. To select a remittance type, we must click on New. We will now get a drop-down list of all supported formats. In this example, we will use BACS Barclays Business Master 2. We click on OK and a new wizard opens. Select an account number from the drop-down list or click New to add a new account number. We then enter the internet address of our bank. Now we click Next. In this window we specify which directory to save the file, and we also specify the name of the file. Click Complete to save the new remittance type. We can now select this as the standard remittance type from the drop-down list. If we want to permit the manual payment registration of items that have the status sent for remittance, then we tick this box. If we want only to remit approved invoices, then we tick this box. We then click OK to save our changes, and then click OK again. We can now see that we have a new remittance button on the left-hand side of the screen. Before we generate the remittance file, we must check that the suppliers are set up with the correct settings. Click the supplier and click Go to Contact. Click the Other Info tab. Here we check that the bank account is in place. We then click on the Settings tab and then click the Customer and Supplier Ledger button. Here we must check that the remittance setting is set to be remitted. We close the contact card and come back to the supplier ledger again. We will now show the settings in the ledger list. If all of the settings were applied correctly, then these will appear automatically in the ledger posting. We click on the entry line and then click Edit. We click on the Remittance tab and see that the correct status and bank accounts are applied. We click OK to save changes. We are now ready to generate a file to the bank to pay all supplier invoices on the specified due date. We click on Remittance. In the new window, we set the desired filter and click Next. We now see a list of items that are to be remitted. If there are any items that we do not want to include in the remittance, then we untick the entry on the left side. If anything on the list is displayed in red, this means that information is missing. We can also edit records and add more information in this window. If we see a credit note at the bottom of the window, this means that we have registered a credit that has not been linked to any invoices. From here, we have the opportunity to link these records together. This is done by selecting the appropriate item in the upper and lower window and then clicking the Match Link icon. We click Next and we will now see the payment proposal report on the screen. We would recommend that you print this payment proposal. You can then close the window. We now come to the window where the file path must be specified. If this was set up properly in the settings, we can just click Next. We next come to the Supplier Payments screen, which invites us to enter a check or reference number for any items which have been specified to be paid by check. If we have any items to be paid by check, we can enter the next available check number in our checkbook. The file is now generated and we must now log into the bank to register the file. We click Next and the Remittance Advice window now appears. We can choose to either print the remittance advices or to close the report. The posting list will now appear. We can choose to either print the posting list or to close the report. A final window appears. This window allows you to select whether the system will automatically close the remitted items on the supplier ledger, and also allows you to select the transaction date that will be used. If you wish to manually close the remitted items, untick the payment entry tick box. We want the system to close these items automatically, so we leave the tick in place and click Complete. We now get a message stating that the payments have been set to the status Sent for Remittance. We have now shown you how the remittance wizard works within Mamut Business Software. You can find other useful tutorials on our website.